As always, I'm going to give it a little extra time since I started early. I'm going to make sure everybody that may have scheduled it can get in here, so we'll start shortly. As always, I'm going to give it a little extra time since I started early. I'm going to make sure everybody that may have scheduled it can get in here, so we'll start shortly. As always, I'm going to give it a little extra time since I started early. All right, guys, thank you all for being here to our 11th Ask Me Anything. It feels like it's been a while since I've done one, so I apologize. I think I've just been kind of just so busy, working in the back end with other people that I've forgotten to do them twice a week. So I apologize. I've just gotten a lot busier over the last week or two, just trying to get everything with the new project laid out with the Dibs Money team, working with the great finance devs to get these nodes ready and get accurate timelines for everybody. And just try and kick some ass to stay on top. I know the price action earlier this week left more to be desired, but we did have a humongous rally yesterday, which was really fun to watch. Even with Joe moving up to a new, looks like it may start consolidating here, unless it does a pullback. But what an excellent run for the community. There's people that, and I've spoke about it in chat, but I just want to put it in the Ask Me Anything and just say how grateful I am to be a part of it. There's real communities and real Tune Forks that have humongous, teams. Like, they've got 14 different team members for one project, and they've been under peg for months. And that's not to say that we're better. It's just me saying that I'm thankful to be in this position where we were under for so long, a week, and we still have opportunities to rally. We still have a great positive community, and it's just me and the mod team, really, and I haven't hired on a full-time dev because they're very difficult to find. I'm working with limited resources with the treasury, and it's really amazing to see just how powerful a good community that trusts the individual running the project is, and that's really special. So for me to have this as my first project to run, even though the dev left me with a very humongous task, I've been very blessed to be in this position to run this community specifically and make the connections I have. So thank you all for the hard work, sticking by me, taking note of what I say. The people that are buying still, thank you. The people that are holding still, thank you. It's just a really great community to be a part of. So I'm just really excited and happy about that. But I want to talk a little bit about I think Dylan has a couple questions that he can bring up here for me shortly. I want to talk a little bit about what I can for what I want for the next layer. And again, I'm supposed to be speaking with the Dibs Money team to kind of finalize. I said new layer, I meant new project. So obviously the gen pools are only going to accept our tokens, the 4 tokens we have, with Dibs as a smaller allocation pool. So the goal is Fox and Snow will both hold the higher allocations. There will be no LPs. They'll hold 30%, 30%. Then both share tokens will hold 15 and 15, and then Dibs would be 5%. Now the length of it, we may extend the length. Of course, this project will last much longer. It won't have the degen APRs. Because it's going to have a sustainable farming. and utility to bounce off and use the treasury to build those utilities. So I need to think longevity, because I kind of, in my head, want this project to be like a springboard of a way for like fun yield farming for investors, but also smart investing for me to be able to grow outside just this ecosystem, and develop things that the community wants that you may not get in other projects, or you feel like you didn't get a say in other projects in the direction of, but you have that with me. So that's what I'm really excited about, is that I'll start building my team out much larger, bring in people that I trust, to know that I can get to where I want to be, and we can really start innovating. Because right now, to be honest, we are stagnated in the fact that the dev is giving me something that I cannot adjust according to how I see things or according to how I see fit. And there's nothing we can really do about it because the contracts are announced, which is perfectly fine. We're working within the constraints that we're given. So we're doing very well. They're very high emissions, and it's very difficult to retain TVL because there are swing traders and arb bots. So it's a difficult task nonetheless. So, I want the stability in the next one, for everybody that's followed me to be able to get consistent passive income, and also to have someone that they trust running the project wholeheartedly, and know that I have your best interest at heart, or I try to anyway. With a little bit of my innovation and my own thoughts to really make the next project my own, and that you all see that I'm not just somebody that can run a community, but I'm also someone that has really, big ideas, and I want to innovate and work with really smart people that are better than me at that, and make new things. So I'm really excited for the future of this community that I've built. I hope you guys are. Because not everything I announce is always going to be some like heavy hitting thing. Some things you guys may see as negative, some things you may see as great. But I never want divisiveness just because of a decision I make. There's going to be pros to cons to everything I can release, and that's just how. And that's one thing I've learned since I've been in this position. No matter what I release, it'll affect you personally different than it will the next person. The next person. Someone is always going to see a negative connotation to anything I release. There's never anything that comes out that's 100% affixed to anything without having some kind of negative that you have to weigh in. And that's me as a leader. I have to make those calls. This could be great for us, but what's the negative to it? And those are things that I'm starting to learn. So I think that this was a really good springboard for me to learn a lot fast, because I got thrusted into it. So I'm really happy to say that I feel like I'm learning fast, and learning what makes a good project. Not to say that the next project we make are going to be the most successful ones, but I feel very confident that, a continuation with this community, we can make another successful project. So I don't want to release the name, but I do want to release the small tidbits of things that I'm really pushing for. And again, some of this is subject to change, so please understand that. Mainly, I want to announce that we will have a sales tax. But it's very different, and it's smaller. So the LP, when unstaked, with the share token and the peg token, will incur a 2% tax, and that goes automatically to protocol-owned liquidity. So we're going to build the treasury, and these may lessen as the days go. But you get the most volume out of a tomb fork in the initial, probably 1 week to 2 weeks, depending on how hyped the launch is and stuff. So I think the 2% tax is fair on just unstaking, and I think that it could really grow our treasury just by doing nothing. Of course, we'll offer rebates in non-native assets to build the treasury in that regard as well. I will be launching with rebates, so we'll probably do some version. I don't want to release too much about what we'll be offering in the rebates, but I mean, you've seen it with Snow, so you kind of know what to expect. The buy and sell of the peg token are taxed at 1%, and they're sent to the burn address, reducing the supply. I think that's good because it'll constantly fuel. It's small, but any kind of burn, in my opinion, keeping that supply as low as possible is good in the early days. Because that's when you're going to see the most inflation, and the peg token is going to be so ludicrously priced. So again, these taxes aren't meant to screw over anyone. They're kind of just meant to help out the project a little bit more. selling the share token incurs a 2% tax and is sent to the treasury. The share token is what most projects use to sell to get into to pay for like marketing, dev fees, any kind of allocation funds for any kind of team member. It's usually done with a share token, so I think a 2% tax is fair on that end, and it will help benefit the project. So anybody that's actually invested for the right reasons shouldn't mind these small taxes because they're all going for what I would assume you all would think is good reasons. And these are subject to change. I may adjust them accordingly, but if we keep them long term, we'll constantly be burning and we'll constantly be adding to the treasury. And also, if we ever got to a low liquidity situation, then it would eventually wreck the bots that are selling. So I'm pretty excited about that. I was pretty happy with kind of developing some type of sell feature. Let me see if there's anything else. I do have a logo in mind, and of course I have a name picked out. So I'm working with Dave to try and get that logo done. And again, as soon as I get these things 100% confirmed with the Dibs Money team, I will be releasing what I can, I promise. But I kind of want it in one formulated announcement. So just know that. Let's see, what else do I want? All right, I think I'm comfortable with that. Know that the roadmap and stuff will be talked about because again, I see this as like a springboard for liquidity and a treasury that I can use to allocate to different things, new projects on that work within the ecosystem. Also, Dibs Money has some really cool utility features coming that, of course, I can't speak about right now, but I'm really excited about. So. Just be prepared for something that I hope comes together really nicely and everybody's excited to be an investor of. But that's all I want to talk about on the new project. Dylan, if you want to come up here and ask me some questions or type them.
Do you want to go over the Snodes and Fox nodes real quick before I start asking questions?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll address Felix's question first off. He said you'd been in some nodes before and you got burned. I assume you're speaking about Thor and Power and things like that. This is a different dynamic because Thor works on the basis that there's only one token in the ecosystem, and that's the reward token as well. So it's that one static you put in and then you trickle money out. Of course, we have a little bit more dynamic at play because we have something that prints more of this token out. But really what this is kind of a lock staking mechanism. You can think of it that way, but Nodes is a little more, on the nose and people understand it just a hair better. So really what you're doing is if every node costs 50 Fox, what that does is over the course of however long it takes, between 1.5% and 3% daily interest, you're going to be getting that Fox back by 500%. And after 500%, the node just goes away. So it ends, and that's the important thing. But it controls the supply in a much healthier way, and it bottlenecks the supply because more is taken off the market that cannot be sold. So it's really beneficial for the user because you're getting a big return on it, and it's really good for the project because it reduces sell pressure by bottlenecking supply and locking supply up. And then it also benefits the treasury. And I'll kind of go over what mostly. I don't know if we're going to edit any of this. I'm still waiting for LB to get back on some of it. So it's going to cost 50 per node. And again, I've seen a lot of suggestions and a lot of them I liked. I'll probably keep it 50 per node for Snow and Fox. So then that gets, locked into a reward pool and distributed daily to all the holders. There's unlimited nodes per account. It goes from 1.5 to 3% daily. Max return of interest is 500%. And then they have some stuff with NFTs and prizes. I'm not sure that I want to do that yet, but they also have a 10% of the node pool will be distributed to the winery NFT holders. I'm looking to switch that to straight burn because obviously we don't have an NFT play right now. I want to use 10% of that going straight to a burn. rather than any kind of NFT holder monthly something. I think it'd be more beneficial for us to get more off the market. So I'd like to see that go straight to a burn. Let's see. There's some extra stuff. So then there's also some treasury support where if it's under TWAP, the treasury balance of grape is burnt to decrease supply permanently. So another burn feature for the peg. Treasury balance is used to add to the grape mem by slowly selling half of the grape. So that's at 1.01 TWAP. I'm assuming that LB is probably doing that manually, so it's something that I could look into. But right now, I don't want to cause any extra sell pressure, so I probably wouldn't do that. And then, of course, if it's over 1.1, it'll also sell some of the Fox or the Snow backed for non-native assets such as AVAX, USDC, whatever it is. If you look at the flow chart on there, you use 50 of the Fox token to go in there. 80% of the Fox is sent to the reward pool. So your locked tokens are going back into a reward pool, and that's what's paying everybody out. Of course, 10% of those would be burnt, and then that's kind of the and I think 10% is used somewhere else, but I'm not 100% on that. But pretty much it's a locked staking mechanism, similar to what I had spoken about, but I think it's a little easier to digest than the ones that I had spoken about, which is why I'm so excited for it. And honestly, I'll be honest, I aped into the grape nodes because you're getting a higher daily payout and helping the project. I think it's really nice. And it really does reduce that sell pressure. So instead of having a large supply of Snow or a large amount of Fox, you don't get to unstake it and sell when you think things aren't getting your way. Or, if it goes way higher, then you get a better daily payout, but you still can't dump a large quantity and unstake. So I'm really excited about that feature, and I think that nodes are really good. And again, they have an end. Unlike the passive income plays that are supposed to last for years and years, these aren't meant to last years and years. It gives longevity to the peg token, and it really helps sustain the price. And there's of course more things on that will maneuver over to Fox and Snow wording from theirs. But I am really excited about the node launch. So hopefully that answers your question, Felix, if you're in here.
You actually answered the other question that I had. So I am ready for more questions. If you guys want to send them in or raise your hand and come up.
I'm looking over everything and looking up everything. I'm still looking to see what the community engagement's like. Our community engagement's been down because our prices have been down. So the NFTs, I don't know that they'd sell out. I'm still down with doing them, but it would be difficult to sell out them. And I just feel like I don't know if it's going to be the best place. So we're just going to see in the coming days. Because Dave's been super busy, and he's the one that's really been able to help me out with all the different stuff. So until he can come up and speak about, he gave me a rough draft of what he's going to think about for the NFT collection. But we're going to see. Happy Dad, come on up. What's going on?
You hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hey, okay. Thanks for taking my question. Is there a general chat for Snowy Owl? I haven't seen one.
Yeah, it's Barn General. I guess it could be named something different. But
Okay, sorry. I tried using it, and then it tried accessing my microphone, so I thought it was like a voice chat or something.
That's weird.
Like the Barn and Barn Talks that we're talking about?
No. It's under Community. It's the first one. There's Foxton, and then there's Barn General, and it would be under Barn General.
Okay, gotcha. I'll have to do a little more digging there.
Yeah, no problem. You had any big questions for us?
You. Yeah. So with the nodes, I've been following Grape and theirs. It's been doing some good other price action. So I'm guessing I'll do the same here, I would imagine. But does it rely on new people buying in to replenish the outflow, the payout?
No, I mean, eventually I'm assuming that you would have to have consistent buyers of it. But as far as like the logistics in the back end, that's something that I'll have to speak with LB about. I have some Snow that I can personally put in, and some Fox I can personally put in to start off the reward pool. But the way that it works is like 80% of your supply automatically goes back to a reward pool. And then so almost 100% of every single node that gets made will automatically already have enough to pay it back out. But yeah, I guess at some point it would require more and more people to do it, but it will have enough to retain constantly paying out for quite some time. But again, the logistics, I'd be sounding silly if I try to break it all down. It would be a better question for him.
It's just it just seems like they relate to the other node projects where you get the whole Ponzi-nomic thing going on where you have to have new people buying in constantly to reduce sell pressure, or else the price continues to decline. And if that's the case, then you go below TWAP, which is bad. So I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around how the sell pressure is resolved.
I think it's
without new people coming in.
Yeah, and I think it's more of a like if a lot of people use half the snow supply, the total supply of snow is like 700,000. If 300,000 snow is used to buy snodes, well then you've got half your supply completely gone and trickling out at a much slower pace. So again, people can't just unstake and sell. So you get a reduced sell pressure almost instantly. And as far as longevity, I mean, it's never been done, so we really don't know if what you're saying. And honestly, it's completely experimental, so you could be more right than me. But I think it's definitely worth the risk because of the benefits it adds at the very beginning. And again, we're also going to be burning 10% of that supply and possibly more. So we'll just have to see, and we'll have to pivot if that's something that we start seeing. That more people aren't buying and stuff like that, and we can add more rewards for buying or something like that. But it's definitely a good question, and I wish I had a good answer for you. But it's one of those things I think we're just gonna have to fill out.
Yeah, no, I think it's nice to see something different being done with tomb forks because they haven't been panning out so well in a lot of instances. So it's nice to see something a little more long term being put out there.
I agree. I think it can really help us. Yeah, no problem, man. All right, let's see, Felix. Felix, come on up. Hey, Felix, you there?
Oh, that's what the talk means. What's up, guys? How's it going, LHB?
Hey, what's going on?
Chilling, man. Just late at night at work. But yeah, I've been invested at Grape for a while, so I just wanted to drop by and kind of share some observations of how nodes have gone over there, and kind of maybe respond a little bit to the last guy as well. Basically, the nice thing about introducing nodes where you have an existing tomb fork protocol is that you have a situation where the share token can kind of act as like a store of wealth for people to trade their their rewards, the peg tokens, for the share and kind of accumulate like a share in the protocol that way. So that's like one mechanism that can be like a release valve for some of the value if people decide to trade directly for the share token. And then also you just have, in Grape at least, you have the mechanism where the node rewards, the total reward stays the same, but it adjusts how fast they come out based on TWAP. So there's I'm sure, the dev here has a lot more things up his sleeve too, but there are definitely like nice synchronicities there where you can kind of, use the share token dynamic. But yeah, I'm just saying what's up. I'm excited to see how this goes.
Man, I appreciate you coming up. I wish we did have a dev, but it is just me. So I appreciate your support from Grape. Obviously, I have given the same love and support back just because I love LB so much. So I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy you showed up to Ask Me Anything and came up. All right, let's see. Billy, come on up, and then Photo Master right after.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Same old, getting by. Hey, so yeah, lots of cool things coming out. Just in terms of the new project, so I know we're not calling it a layer 3, but it's still a tomb fork, so to speak.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So if you had to create a mission statement for this new project, what would you say exactly? Like, is it just to create further use for the layer 1 and layer 2 tokens and to support the treasury? Is that the main goal of it, or is there something else you're trying to achieve with that project?
I want a safe place for long-term yield farming on Avalanche, and constant daily yields, and a place for, and it really is, I think that I have a lot of like community building aspects ingrained in how I want to make future projects. So it's really a space for also investors to come in. You're making money, so everybody's happy. It won't always be making money, but it's going to be one of those places where we can actually talk about other projects, and speak about where to take our profits, and become better investors, and be better educated. So it's more of a platform in that way. That it's a Tomb Fork for sure, because I like Tomb Forks a lot, and I think there's some sustainability there whenever you have a core group of investors. But it's more of a we're going to come together, we're going to be invested, and then where do we take our profits next? And we can openly discuss that, and everybody benefit and educate from each other, because again, community is a huge aspect for me.
Cool. You also mentioned recently in the chat something about redemption. I think it was called redemption compounder. I don't know much about it. Is there anything you can discuss on that, or what that's trying to achieve as well?
Yeah. So I reached out to, I guess his name's Mecho King, or whoever the community manager is over there. I tried to anyway. I guess I didn't have enough weight in the ecosystem yet, because he didn't get back to me. I got ghosted. But they've talked about offering it up to other Tomb Forks. And so pretty much our LP would move once they go to Avalanche. Beyond can speak a little bit, probably more about that. But either way, what they do is use some of the fees. It's an auto compounder. And they use some of those fees to buy back and burn your native token, as far as I understood it. So it's just another burn mechanism, and that's really the play, is constantly burning any kind of inflating supply. And that's the main use of redemption.
Yeah, cool.
So that's what I'm most excited about. Now, again, it could be weeks or months before it's on Avalanche. It's just one of those things that I would definitely consider for our ecosystem.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. Makes complete sense. I won't hold you to any dates, don't worry.
All right, man.
The final thing is liquid capital. I'm really excited about this, and what it could potentially bring to our platform protocols. I just love the synergy that seems to be coming along between our existing layer 1, layer 2, the nodes coming, liquid, and the cross-chain pools. So in this ecosystem that you're building and slowly putting these building blocks together, are there some gaps that you can still see that you were to fill somewhere?
Of course,
that we don't know about?
there's plenty that I scratch my head on and think about before I go to bed every night. And so those are things that I try and reference to people that are much smarter than me in the space to be able to gap. And LB does a really good job about that, and the Dibs Money team obviously can assist me in that as well. But of course, there's definitely gaps that I'm going to have to learn to fill, and not every one of those is going to make everyone happy, but it's something that's necessary to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. So, and to speak on liquid capital, I'm really, every discussion I've had with Eric, and Eric's the main marketing guy there, and he has done an amazing job getting the amount of projects invested into it, and to say that they're excited about. So if you don't know, Titano Forks really work on, you make the most money from the pre-sale, getting in early, and getting that. So you're getting it for 10 cents when the token will go for 20 cents. And you'll have to read the white paper to really fully grasp it, because I probably wouldn't do a good job speaking about it. But I know what Eric's capable of, and he is going to market it really well. And he already is. And you have to think, if 15 other projects are offering it up for pre-sale, or more, he's already looking for more, then you already have success in the fact that it's being advertised in 15 different Discords. So I think it's really going to be a powerhouse, Titano Fork. And I know LB and what he's capable of. So I think the innovations that go along with it will be really, really great as well. So, Grape's always been really good at not just building a great protocol that works, but they're also really good at thinking to the future and new ideas and innovate in the space. And it sucks that I have to kind of ride their coattails for right now, being in the position I'm in. but I think everybody understands why I have to, and also it's benefiting me greatly, and that's why I try to give so much back to Grape because they're giving us so much. But yeah, I'm really excited about Liquid Capital. I am going to be a mod in that Discord as well, just so that I feel like I want my community as involved in it as possible, just to see the success and to make sure that everybody that invests in it from here knows that I'm a part of trying to make it a success as well. So I think it's going to get a lot of benefits, and I think people that are invested are going to make pretty good money in it. It seems like a really good project, so I'm excited about it.
Agreed. So am I. I think it's going to be beneficial for us all, and if we can build that treasury,
Yeah.
we can then keep on making buybacks and burns and control our peg token a little more. It will
I
help
agree.
us in the long term.
It is difficult to manage with the treasury I have, but I wouldn't change what I've done or how I've managed it so far. Even looking back now, like everything that I've done, I felt like had a purpose, and even if it didn't work, it was a learning experience, and I still think that it was beneficial in some way, because we could be in a lot worse position if I didn't utilize it in the ways that I had in the first place. But yeah, a good treasury would be awesome.
Sorry, one more question,
Sure.
actually, and then I'll let someone else actually talk. But so I just thought, I recall you saying, or someone saying, with this new project, the not third layer, we won't be creating any new tokens. So how is that going to work exactly?
I'm not sure where you see that.
No?
You may have misunderstood it or something.
Sorry, maybe I was misunderstood.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course we're gonna
I
have.
thought I saw someone said we don't want more than 4 tokens in our system. So I was like, well, how's that
So
going to work?
we're definitely gonna.
That's why I thought maybe it wasn't going to be a Tomb Fork, but yeah.
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna have obviously 2 more tokens added. So that's for sure. That's how it's gonna work. It'll work just like a standard Tomb Fork. So yeah, definitely gonna have the extra 2.
No worries. All right, I'll let someone else ask something.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Cheers.
Photo, come on up.
Man, Steve Billy, man, I thought you'd never stop asking questions. Gee whiz.
How's the new car doing, man?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Everything is good. Went on a nice little cruise today. But let me get right to the point here. First, Mr. Beyond, get your boy Metch to contact LHB here. All right, don't sit on it. Okay. Also, the Liquid Capital. When do we know when the launch is, and how is pre-sale gonna work? Do we have any info on that?
So I think that Eric's waiting to get a couple extra partnerships involved. And once that's solidified, then we'll start getting some extra dates. And of course, the Discord will come out and stuff like that. I know one partnership he's really kind of reserving himself on because he really wants it, and I understand why. And I think he's pretty close to getting it. So I think once that comes, then you'll see a Discord open up and we can start seeing announcements, because even I don't know like the full release date. That's something that they're probably wanting to keep as close to the chest as possible. I'm of course really good friends with Eric and LB, but I also don't like try and put my nose in business that it doesn't belong in. So I think a 2-week timeline, you should start seeing some like bigger things come up from them as far as like actual times that you could see releases.
Oh, okay, cool. So like, are like the partners are we getting whitelisted? Is that how it's working?
So we're getting pre-sale tokens. So what we're going to do is they're going to deploy contracts to all the different websites of people that are involved, and you'll be able to. It's like an affiliate link is how you could think of it. You're going to buy the pre-sale tokens, and however many we sell from our website is how much impacts our treasury. Because of course, 50% of that goes back. I think 25% goes back to buybacks and burns of the native tokens, and then a certain amount goes back to our treasury, and then of course the other amount goes to LC for the actual tokens and stuff. So
gotcha. Okay, so basically it's like a whitelist.
Yep, exactly.
So like
It's a pre-sale,
awesome.
and apparently that's from what I hear, that's like where you actually make money in the big Titano forks, is that you get in super early. So likely this is going to have a huge market cap because it's so well marketed. So it's going to be one of those things that I think launches really successfully. and hopefully we see a lot of people come into it. Of course, it's on the Binance chain, so plenty of people are eager.
Well,
to
if
buy
it's
and everything.
anything like
Aurora.
Oscaro,
Uh,
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
yeah.
I was
Hey,
looking at
real
the
quick
chart.
to take you back off. Not to interrupt, but Crypto Niche just asked, will we get a limited amount of tokens, I suppose? I think that's a good question.
No, as far as I know, there's especially with us having a smaller amount of investors right now, with only however much TVO we have locked in. I don't think that they're going to cap us. I can get an official response from Eric on that, but I think that you probably shouldn't be concerned. I don't think anyone's going to throw $1 million off our affiliate links, but if they did, that'd be really cool because we would make a lot for our treasury. But no, I don't think you have to worry about limits.
Okay. So I've been looking at the charts for our 4 tokens, and they're looking awesome right now. Joe, if anyone has like 2 or 3 million Joe sitting around, just sell it, please.
Just sell it, tank it.
Yeah.
No, really,
Yeah,
really, I know that that's probably the best thing because we can get some prints going. But I mean, Joe going up is just a higher target and more TVL that we get if we can get it. So it's just a higher target. It sucks because it fluctuates so much. But I actually don't see Joe coming down in the short term. To be quite honest, it was undervalued at $1 probably, but we were spoiled by it.
So what's our plan to increase TVL? Anything in the short term, or is it just the nodes and the fodes?
Yeah,
the snodes and the fodes.
Yeah, the snodes and the fodes, and then obviously, having LC, speak about us. Of course, Jack's Passive Income is going to do an update video with me. Dylan reached out to him, and he's going to do an update video with me after the nodes launch. So that I can speak with him again about our project. I'm probably going to let him do a lot more talking so that the video doesn't go on for 4 hours because I know I talk too much. I'll let him navigate the conversation so it can be short and sweet.
Okay, one other thing. Sorry, a couple other things. Miniverse, are we still going to be partnering with them?
So the Miniverse thing, the only affiliation we had was the audit. And that's through Eric, and Eric works hand in hand with Miniverse. So I think people got a misunderstanding that we were directly partnered with them. Not to say that I couldn't reach out to them and get assistance, just that we're not working as closely as me and Grape do per se. That's just
but
not.
They have some.
Go ahead.
They have some really good stuff, and they're doing.
Yeah, of course
they're
they do.
doing
Yeah, they're great.
quite well. So maybe we should maybe look at what they're doing and see what we can. Because they got NFTs. They got a whole. They got the nodes.
Yeah, our
got,
next project and our next venture. I'm going to be looking to get NFTs pretty fast. While the iron's hot, I want to do something with NFTs. I love pixel art, so it would probably be in that artistic direction. But it's going to be something like I do want to add a GameFi aspect. So I pretty much want the website to be a Tomb Fork, and then obviously a lot of things expand out from there. That you have a lot of utility with that peg token at launch. And it may not all line up perfectly like that because that's a lot of moving pieces for me to get ready in such a short amount of time. But I do want to be hitting it really hard the first month, and I'll be, I compensate well, so I try and find people that, are good in the industry and have shown, and then use them to build us something really fast. So NFT staking, stuff like that. I really want to add a lot of utility to that peg token, almost instantly.
Awesome. And then one last thing. I have no doubt that your relationships with Grape and Liquid Capital and any of the other partners are absolutely strong. And, they're helping us. You have trust in them. I'm trying to word this in a way.
Are you saying why haven't they made any announcements with us in there?
No, well, yes, kind of, but more so. The whole Tomb fiasco, right? I just hope and I don't think it's going to happen here. But that was supposed to be a partnership too, and we all know what happened there, right? So like I said, I have no doubt that the partnerships are strong here, and they mean what they say, and you mean what you say. So, but yeah, it would be nice if they would sort of mention us every now and then. But like I said, I hope they're as strong as you are telling us they are, and I hope the feeling is mutual there.
Yeah, I think that any of them would speak. If you all asked them directly, they would speak the same about me. I've had video chats with almost every single member there now. I just spoke with the community manager there today on voice chat. We had a 2-hour conversation, and we've all built an actual relationship individually, like an actual real relationship, not just like just some kind of veil that I say we're partnered. I have a lot of trust and respect for these people. And I hope that from what they say, they feel the same about me, just from my position and what I've been through here. I have no doubts, but I understand where your doubts are coming from 100%.
They're not really doubts. It's more like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm doubting it. It's just kind of like, kind of just keep an eye out kind of thing,
Yeah.
But the way that the devs have been helping us, and the way that you talk about them and stuff, like I said, I have no doubt, but it just I'm one of those people that kind of like keep what I hope it, but I didn't want to make it sound like I'm doubting it, because I'm definitely not. It's just that I went through that whole thing with two so.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from. I really do. I know that you're not.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you're not coming from it with negative intentions. Obviously, I'll try and get them to post something up about us, but you have to understand that we're coming from a different position than they are, where I don't have like a full team. It's the partnership is really that they're assisting me, and that I'm building real relationships for future development. It's not so much like, hey, we're doing partner pools together and stuff like that. I think those are really fake, like not fake partnerships, but I don't think they're as beneficial as what I'm building with the Grape team, in my opinion.
Any chance of some sort of merger?
Not that I've
L3?
discussed. As full
With
transparency.
L3?
With full transparency, no, it's not something that I've discussed. It's not something I would look down on. But it's not something that I've discussed with them.
Well, maybe not a merger, but we are moving to L3. I mean, faster than any other fork because of the way our contracts were given to you, right? So, if the other forks want to move into like another layer or another sort of branch, I'd be open to some sort of cooperative L3 for us. Just call it something else, whatever you want to call it. But
yeah, I think the thing is that most people don't need to do layers, because most people went into a solid position at the beginning. Like the foundation of Grape is pretty solid because they're going for 370 days, and I think they've only been going since January. So it's not really a big concern for them, but it's not something that I would like scoff at or not do. It's just something that hasn't been discussed.
I think people are tired of listening to me, so I'm gonna hope that start to looking good soon, next week or so, hopefully.
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody in the community, just keep it up. Chats are good. Looks like all the whiners are gone, so that's awesome. We'll see how it goes.
All right, man. Well, really, thanks for coming up, as always. All right, GDB, our resident video editor.
Yo, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I had a few questions. I might have forgot a few, but fine. Let's see. So the cell tax you was talking about, would you consider the more the price goes down, maybe to increase the cell tax?
Yeah,
the maximum is, I don't know.
So the goal is with maybe a community vote or something, I don't necessarily want to renounce contracts as fast as other Tomb Forks have with this next project, because I want to be able to see it succeed and pivot, and other people don't have that where we could. So it'll be determined then. But yeah, sales tax will be something that we can configure regardless of renouncements or not. It'll be something that can be dynamic.
Yeah, because I mean, I've said it before. I think, especially when Snow went down to, was it like
8.
10 cents or something? Yeah, something like really low like that. I was like, that was the perfect time to do it. But obviously, you wasn't in charge as much, back then, and it was kind of. It seems like a lot of people wanted to do that, but you can't force something, can you? Said Lamar. What else? Yeah, so I'm not a big, I'm not like a big, like believer in this, but I think like I don't like the idea of like saying like to steal stuff from other people, but I think using some people's ideas from like I'm not sure if you know a Forex Shark, do you? Who made Drip and
Oh yeah, I do know about Drip.
Yeah.
I don't know like entirely their tokenomics, but of course, I've
Okay.
heard of them.
Yeah, so he's like, he reminds me a lot of you, or you remind me of him, whatever. And just really just like intelligent and just really like into it and understand it like through and through. And I think looking into his other projects might give you an idea what you want to do in the future with either this project or the next one in the future.
Yeah, I'll take
But
a
pretty
moment to
much-
look up their tokenomics.
Yeah, for sure. The Animal Farm was a recent one he did.
Yeah, I'd heard about that launch.
Yeah, it went a bit
Rocky,
yeah,
right?
it went a bit. Yeah, a bit. But his intentions are just like he knows what he's doing. Like as soon as he's seen it all going like down, and he just stopped it. He just paused everything, and now he's slowly bringing it back up. But everything he's done has been good. So I think looking at people like that and using their ideas and building upon them, like there was on the Animal Farm, what his plan was to get people to stake as long as they can, as long as they want for like. I think the maximum was like 3 years, which is a lot. But as time goes on, it multiplies their money like an extra amount. As longer you want to stake, the more it will multiply, and the more APY you'll get. And obviously it'll increase people to stay in the project as long as possible. But as he said before, like it's not the main focus to be like a project for like a few years. You know what I mean? It's more of a short term thing. But
Yeah.
I think keeping people having like lockup periods and keeping people like in that place where I don't see why anyone want to sell anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm not really understanding that, but I think with the sell tax and everything, it might give another reason for people just to sit down and think about not selling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think sales tax can really be used, especially if they're used for like positive things like burns and adding to treasury. I'm all for it in that regard. But especially in the early months of a Tomb Fork, you have a lot of TVL and a lot of people staking and unstaking and things like that. So if you can find ways to make that work in your favor and also not hinder the experience of the user, that's kind of the things that I look for as far as sales tax.
Yeah. I can't lie, I forgot everything I was gonna say. I was halfway through that and I was like, oh no, I forgot what to say.
It's okay. Well,
Because I had so many, but then it was just like too long and I forgot. But
well,
but end
come
of
back
the day,
up
you
if
know what you're doing. You've got it.
Yeah,
no,
man.
you've got it.
Well,
you've got
I love suggestions. So if you have something else,
Yeah.
I'll be up here for a little bit longer, man. You can think of something else.
it. Yeah, for sure. I'll be in chat anyway. It'll be cool.
All right, man. See ya.
Right. All right, cool.
He won't stop. Don't worry.
All right, what you got?
I don't have anything. Other than Felix saying that he's also our brother.
Oh, cool. Long lost brother. I think Parker, you had your hand up. Do you want to come back up?
Parker definitely had his hand up.
Don't be cheeky. There you go. All right, Parker, come on up. You got your mic muted, Parker. I think you're on mobile. So there you go. Nope. Oh, there we go.
Can you guys hear me?
Gotcha.
All right, cool. Thanks for having Thanks for having me. I think it was a Photo Master who made that comment a little bit earlier regarding being called out, partnerships. The question and regarding those partnerships, I think they said that there would be, I guess, a total of around 15 partners.
Yeah, and
Is
it's
that
more people involved with the affiliate side, like being able to sell on behalf the pre-sale tokens. But I mean, technically, it
right?
is a
I mean,
partnership.
right. Well, I mean that would be we would be part of that 15, right? Is that
Correct,
what?
correct. That is correct, and we
Okay.
will be added to the white paper. It's. I didn't see it as a big deal, but I see that people are like wondering, and I see why. So it's not a huge ordeal for me to try and get that added. I will try and get our name added to that white paper. I'm sure they'll have to make edits of it as it goes.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think like that is that white paper like even published with the partners because I read the I guess that white paper, but I don't even think they published any of the partners. They only had
Yeah, they haven't
Universal
published
Group
any of
on
the
there, right?
actual legitimate partners yet. That was what I was trying to say. Is that there's a lot of them that they didn't get published on that one because they released it and we were able to announce it, and there was no they didn't go back and edit it. So yeah, we're a part of it, and it's just kind of one of those things that I know we're a part of, and if you trust me, then and Eric also came in chat and said that we would be a part of it. So
Yeah. Well, I think it would definitely be well, I think it's not just for us too, but to have them like when they finalize I guess finalize that partner list, having that published, right? Because I think that'll one serve confidence with each I guess Toon Fork or community that's involved. I mean that does one, but two, it also really hypes up the momentum, right?
yeah.
Like holy crap, you got all these. So I think it's a win-win for everybody involved in publishing something like that. So I'm not sure if that's even something that they're planning to even do. But if not, then those are some fairly good reasons to do that.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna have a marketing campaign where they involve all the partners and stuff like that. So, I mean, we're gonna be a part of that. I work with Dave. He's just really slammed right now. So getting like marketing material and stuff. I mean, I can make them and they'd be fine with it. I just haven't done it because I didn't think it was that necessary. But I understand why people are feeling it is necessary and the benefits that comes with it. So, I'll try and get something together as far as like our involvement with LC and our involvement with Grape. But again, great partnership. Like most partnerships that get announced have like some kind of pool, or they're announcing something together. And our partnership with Grape is more of they're giving us assistance. So it's like we could say we're partnered with them, but it wouldn't be to the same regard of a marketing aspect. I don't think.
Yeah, so I think what we're just referring to specifically like this upcoming project, right? With the with the whitelist.
Yeah.
So I think just asking them like just getting to understand like, hey, are you guys doing this? Is this a thing? If so, cool. When do you think, right? Like when do you think this is being published? Just getting those types of questions answered, I think, is what the community is looking for.
Sure, I can do that. I can get with Eric tonight.
So there's that, and then I think we should definitely kind of call out, what will probably happen, this coming Thursday when we do have the nodes, right? I think I mean, it's going to be super exciting for sure. I guess my first question is there any reason why there would be a delay on Thursday?
Yeah, there definitely could be a delay depending on when LB. I gave him 2 extra days because he said that's probably what he would need. Of course, he is the sole developer right now in LC, so I'm sure he has other work. But I just got with him, and I'm sure he'll get back with me tonight. And I said, is there any reason why Thursday might not work? So I can go ahead and gauge it with the community. So full transparency, I mean, it definitely could be delayed. But he also works fast, and it's a direct fork. So I don't see it needing much more time. But of course, as soon as I figure it out, you guys know that you'll have that information, and I'll make an announcement.
Okay, cool. No, that's good to know. And then the second call out is probably just understanding that when the nodes first come in, I mean it'll be exactly like with Grape, right? I mean there will be swings,
Yeah, for
just
sure.
keeping that in mind. But the most important thing is, the reason why the price like just really falls is the first the swingers happen, right? And then people start panicking, and then they start selling, and then it's like a self-fulfilling type of prophecy. But the thing to realize about nodes is that, when we're all locking up nodes, one, of course, we're getting the, that 1 to 3%, but that will, I guess the true believers, right? That'll prevent that like, oh shit moment. But just know that, it'll happen. But when it does, we're expecting it, and there's definitely liquidity on the back end to get it to where it should be. Like, just keeping that in mind.
Yeah, for sure, and it could be, and also another thing that I think is going to be strategic is that we can start advertising, maybe making LP with our nodes, because it'll be much smaller quantities. So even if we're like right above TWAP, we'll be able to like with ours, we'll be able to sell like half your node rewards for that day for more LP and start building liquidity, where I don't have to manage so many people's, because everybody's going to be getting 1% to 3% daily. That's a much smaller impact on price for the overall supply. So we'll be able to like slowly build liquidity, if that makes sense, rather than like gun ho it and say like, oh, if you've got 3 million snow tokens, go ahead and start making liquidity, and everybody dumps. It'll be a much slower trickle. So there's also going to be some really great strategies in the future that we're going to be able to use. But yeah, like you're saying, of course, there's going to be swingers. We have much lower liquidity. We can go up as fast as we go down. Everybody should expect that in the coming days as people get prepared. Obviously, as long as there's new eyes on us and people, want to invest in these nodes. I'm excited for my personal portfolio. I'll be making a lot of nodes, but it's up to, every one of you all.
Okay, so that's cool. Did I hear that right? So you're saying that, like with Grape, for example, I mean, it's essentially single staking into creating the nodes. You're saying in this instance, it'll be, I guess, an LP to create a node.
I'm saying like you use Fox, right? You use a large
Right.
quantity of Fox to make your nodes, but you're only receiving 1.5 to 3% of that daily, and you can't unstake anything because it's locked into those nodes. So everybody's getting a smaller trickle of supply. So if you have nodes, a strategy could be is use, your daily rewards, use 50% of them to go into single stake, and then the other 50% cut it half and half with LP, sell half for Joe, and then make more LP. And that's a much smaller price impact with everyone doing that with their node rewards than it would be me making a grand statement to say, if we had no nodes and I said, hey, let's start making LP, that's not as easy to navigate because everybody's got different amounts of Fox and Snow. So if I say that and some large quantity or whale, that has a large supply of like 10, 15,000 Fox tokens or something, and he says, oh, I got to make LP right now, and he may not know everything we know, well, he could just dump that. And he could dump half of that for Joe to try and make LP where he thought it was beneficial, but this way it'll be a slower trickle, if that makes sense. We're able to make it.
I see what you're saying.
And that's just with nodes, obviously, I'm speaking. I'm saying that maybe in the future we'll have a better utility to strategize with nodes as well.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. From the rewards, utilize that to make LPs. That makes sense. Yeah, I think having if the resources are there, having some type of strategy on or different ways to utilize the rewards, whether it's taking profits while at the same time putting back to the community, right? I mean, ideally, if you're going to take profits, and I think in our case, you shouldn't take profits from. We shouldn't be selling the Fox. We should ideally put it in the BR, right? And when you take profits, just don't touch the BR for like 3 epochs, and then take profits from that, and hopefully by then, our shares will be in such a way where it'll be actually worth it to do so, right? Because we're just in such a vulnerable state regarding the pegs. But we can flesh that out later on.
Yep. Good points raised.
So all right, that's it for now. Just wanted to raise those thoughts.
All right, Parker. Thanks for coming up, man.
All right.
Ghost Worker.
Do you have a question before I bring up DH?
No, go on and bring him up.
All right, DH.
All right. Hey, can you hear me?
I got you.
Hey, right on. Hey, so nice to hear your voice. You know, I've been around a long time. Big supporter, big fan of everything going on here. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. So regarding the nodes, I think Parks and Recs kind of touched on what I was going to ask, but I guess are you going to like lay out some strategy or a white paper to update in the docs for us, or even more potentially for new investors on the nodes, a strategy, just everything what you were just talking about? I think that would be very helpful. I'm still fairly new to this area and I kind of understand the nodes, but I think it would be great to lay it all out so on paper so someone can read it and wrap their head around it.
Sure, I'll make an updated one. I'll just fork off of grapes, and then I'll edit it to what our burn feature is, and then like whatever we're adding to the treasury and stuff. I'll make some edits. As far as strategy, yeah, we can definitely work on what to do with node rewards and stuff like that. In the short term, I'll get with some of the mods and see if they can help me out.
So, all right, that sounds good. I mean, I think that would be helpful. Obviously, Grape put out there as I was reading it earlier, but if you modified and customized it for our ecosystem, I think that would be really, very professional. And for investors and money, professional is a good thing. Uh, so, question: so 50, 50 Fox, 50 Snow for one node. Now, how does as the price fluctuates on our peg token? Is it always stay 50 per node, or is it based on price of
Nope,
the token?
it's based on static amount of the token.
Okay, so I guess it's good for so let's say you launch on Thursday. I take it it's gonna build into the current UI, or are you adding a separate page?
It'll be like grapes where we just have a separate
Okay.
tab.
So basically, probably, so for us, right now where our peg token's still low, if we create nodes and then over time, and then people coming in, there's buy pressure and the price goes up, obviously that's good for us because we're in at a lower price and we're going to get a higher reward.
Exactly. So
That-
if you buy a node for snow right now, it would be $25 at 50 cents. If it went up
Right.
to $1, well then your node reward would be based on the dollar. You're getting the same amount of snow, but your snow's worth more. So of course, yeah, your average position or your cost basis would be much low. It would be much lower.
Okay, got it. So obviously that goes in both directions, and that's why a lot of people have been wrecked on nodes. I have just on the Thor nodes and all these other nodes out
Correct.
there.
Yeah.
The whole the price fluctuation thing. Okay, cool. I had another question, but it's kind of lost my mind here, so I don't want to take up the time. But I just again, I want to thank you for your commitment. Everybody, says the same thing, but just know you're doing great work, and we're all behind you. Appreciate you, and for all of us to be successful and do well in this space is, I know, the common goal. And I want to acknowledge your efforts. So
I
that's all
appreciate
got.
it, man. I really do. It means a lot.
All right, right on. All right, I'm gonna disconnect, I guess. How do we do that? Okay.
I got you. Thank you. Any other questions?
So far no, but you kind of glossed over it, but I'd kind of like to circle back. We got a message, Austin and I, this morning from Jack's Passive Income talking about the video that he put out about Snowy and Arctic was his most viewed video that he's put out in a while. And I think that was mainly because of you guys, which is awesome. But he also reached out to offer us another video because I told him we had some big announcements in the pipeline. So Austin's going to be able to go back on Jack's Passive Income absolutely free of charge to talk about nodes, talk about what we have going on with the not layer 3 and everything else. So I kind of wanted to circle back and emphasize that not only will we be introducing nodes this week, we will also be putting more eyes on it. He got 2.8 thousand views on the original one of Austin talking, we want to see more on the next one. So what you guys did was amazing. Keep watching. If we put out another YouTube video, watch it, share it, tweet it, do everything you can. I don't think it's a coincidence that that video was so popular. I think it's because of you guys and what you guys do here every day. So keep up the good work. You guys are awesome. And we have another question. So go ahead, Austin.
Okay. Let me touch on that as well. Is that the community has been amazing to have a Tomb Fork that has this high of emissions, have TVL spook everybody, to go through the amount of adversity we have in such a short amount of time, to still be standing tall and still have peg within reach on 2 different layers is phenomenal. Really it is. And if anybody's been in the Tomb Fork scene, they know that. Of course, everybody puts us down and out sometimes, and there's going to be people that exit. But the mass majority of you all hold. And to even see, we have 406 users online. You have a lot of dead Discords out there, and we're not one of them. And we've been doing it for more than 40 days, honestly. We've been doing it for a very long time. So we're building something really special here community-wise. So, I'm excited to go back on there. Of course, I'm a media whore, so anybody that wants to put me on camera, I'm all for it. I'll get my turtleneck out for, what's the guy's name that wants me to wear the turtleneck? We'll get it out for you. DH wants to come back up. Must have thought of another question. DH?
Okay, got me. Hey, all right, sorry, real quick. So regarding nodes, obviously it's all the token. Does the share token play any factor in nodes, or is that strictly going to be the play will be obviously the boardroom, but until level 3? How is that? I guess the question is, does share token have any play in the node?
So no, not at the current utility level that they're launching at, but even if you look at the future nodes for the grape one, they're planning on doing the wine as a node, and then of course they're going to be doing some kind of burn feature on that. So I'd really like to see it with SnowShare specifically, since emissions are in it. But we'll just have to see how expansive we want to make it.
Can you? I mean, through nodes, can you emit more SnowShares, or they're done and that's it?
Well, they'd be done, but what you do is use the remaining amount of SnowShares and lock up even more of the supply, and then also permanently burn some. So 20% would go to a burn, 80% would go to the reward pool, and there's only 45,000 of them in existence. So if a lot of people that owned a lot of SnowShare were to buy a lot of those, then we would have even less. So it would be even a substantial amount of volatility that would go into it, and they would be sought after. And of course, there'd only be an X amount that could be made for nodes. So it would be really interesting to see, honestly.
Yeah. So because I got 600 SnowShares, and I'm holding them, and I have, we all have big hopes for the future. So I guess that was also, I think, part of my original question of part of the strategy ultimately that maybe you can lay out as it becomes more apparent of how to maximize all these different elements, because there are a lot of elements, and considering all the different things coming in the future, like I got, I'm sitting on a lot of shares, Snow and Fox. I don't think taking them all and putting them all in nodes would necessarily be the smart play. I'd want to maybe do some here and some there. So I guess that's where my original thing is, like, maybe if you can really lay out the big picture, even if there are a lot of gaps and holes right there, so some of us can really try to strategize and pretend to be smart in this world of crypto.
That's all we're all doing here, man. We're all just pretending.
Yeah.
If I can interject
exactly.
Here, Austin, why don't you? Do you have time to create a video like today or tomorrow about using grapes new nodes, like maybe investing, $50 or $100 into grapes node system to kind of like mimic what we need to be doing?
Well, I have much more than a couple nodes in grape. I aped into that. So yeah, I can talk about it.
Like a strategy of like a new investor going into the node system, like DH was just saying, like maybe you could make a YouTube video on that, kind of better educate us, like something quick.
The difficulty that expands out, and I can make a simplified version, is the difficulty is it's really based on risk tolerance and making sure I don't focus too much on layers that we've already talked about previous. Like Snow, we stopped putting so much focus on because we wanted a working layer 2. Anytime I speak about snow, half the community smacks me, and anytime I speak about fox, then the other half smacks me. So I'm trying to find ways to make it lucrative for both parties to understand that we can have both working, and we're really close. We're really, really close, I think, to sustaining both. But yeah, I can definitely muster up. Go ahead.
I gotta agree, you know, whole community.
Hold on, you're breaking up pretty bad.
I'm in
Try
both.
to say it again.
And we got to figure out a way. I think the connectivity is bad. I just, you know, I'm in both, and everybody getting all upset about, oh, you're talking about fox and snow, and there's got to be a balance, and everybody's got to remember these our two layers work hand in hand. So everybody's just got to take a chill on that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where everybody's coming
just...
from, but I mean, I'm trying to find ways to weave it. It's a difficult, it's difficult, but you know, I'm learning every day about how to bring things up and how to approach it. And I think that's the main thing, is that it can be done. I have to find a way to approach it so that everybody feels comfortable with what I'm saying. So, you know, I'm getting a good feel for it. And I think that in time that we'll be fine to speak about both when there's strength in both. But yeah,
Cool.
I will work on something for you, DH.
Right on. For me, for everybody. All right, appreciate you. That's all I got. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, man, no problem. Park, come on up. What's up, Parker?
Hey, so you know all this conversation about strategy. I think that it's important due to you know there's in my opinion not a lot of TVL, that whatever strategy that we do, it should ideally we should do it as a community, as when everybody's doing different things, everything's spread out, right? And I don't think that's a good thing regarding just because they're trying to hit peg, right? In my opinion, I think that right now. So I think everybody here is invested into both, but I think the most important thing right now is to focus on Fox, because when Fox is printing and all of that, at a good pace, then after that we can all then focus on Snow.
Yeah, and I think the goal is to get Fox printing
Yeah.
healthy, and how I've always seen it is get Fox healthy, and then teach people how to take proper profits into the Snow ecosystem to help support it, and then further increase the amount of profit you can take out, because you don't have just one ecosystem you're taking profit from, but you're doing two, so that doubles up how much profit you can necessarily take. Now that's obviously healthy TVL. And everything, hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, I think helping the community definitely come up with strategies on how to go about that is important. Personally, I think that liquidity is always important. Always having some type of powder. So what I would actually do is I would stake some portion of it, maybe it's 30% into the single stake or actually LP, and then maybe a good chunk of it into the nodes, right? So
Yeah,
60%
of course.
into nodes.
You don't want to be completely locked
Right,
into
so-
nodes, because you don't want to take out your, that's a huge risk tolerance, in my opinion. So-
Right. Right, and then some things to keep in mind as well, for the people who have whiplash from all the node projects, right? A few things we definitely know for certain, and it's that the people who get in first are always coming out winning, right? And so that's one of the positives I see in this ecosystem with us and the partnerships, right? Whether it's with the nodes, or it's with being whitelisted, it is that we're doing some first world type shit, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, we're getting to reap those types of benefits. But yeah, I mean, as far as investing in all of that, I would do like, so I would split it up. Whatever your risk tolerance is, split it up into, nodes, and then at the same time, have that powder, on the side, and then me see here. Oh, one last thing, and just keep in mind that the ROI at a, 1 to 2 or even 3% is about 200 days or so.
Yeah.
So there's different ways to go about that too, right? I mean, there are people within Grape that are taking their grape and then they're compounding that. Personally, I I don't like that strategy. Um, uh, I like to get my initial funds back first and foremost. So so the investments I actually have with Ingrape as well with those nodes, um, I put down a certain amount. My main goal is getting that powder back. I want my money back first and foremost. Then after that, cool. I'll take that money, that extra two, because it's 500%, right? So once I get that 100% back at about like 34 days or so, then after that, then you can do what you will with it, right?
Yeah.
In this case with Grape, all the profits I'm taking with Grape, that powder, I'm just reinvesting it back into Fox, all with my Thor and all of that. So there's different ways to go about it, but definitely just keep in mind just some benchmarks to know. Everyone here, right, is that at about 34 days, assuming that it's about 2% ish or so, that's when you'll get your money back. Get your money back. Put that in a safe spot, and then after that, cool, reinvest that back to the protocol or do what you will with it. But so there's several different ways to go about it. That's
Yep.
it.
I'm with you.
Okay. Yeah.
I am with you. And with that, obviously, there's going to be new strategies that come up, and we'll discuss them as they come. I'll try and get all the things that we've discussed tonight. I think we're at about an hour and 16. Dylan, did you see any extra questions?
I do have one more. Chemical Bro asked, is it too late to implement a Zap function to easily create LP?
I'll probably have it in the next one, in the next project, but I don't see me adding it here because it's just I have to get a dev to do it, and LB's so busy. It requires a separate smart contract that you have to write for us. It's not completely out of the cards, but I don't think that it's going to be a main focus for quite some time. So.
That is everything I'm seeing, and yeah, this has been a good one. I like this one. This is a lot.
Yeah, we had a lot of good questions. Thank you all for being here. I know this one went on pretty long, but all mine do. So if you're here, you already knew that probably. So thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you for all the suggestions. Wanting the best for everybody that's invested. Continue doing what you're doing. We're getting closer and closer to PEG. We'll get new TVO as nodes come out. More marketing comes out. A better stable treasury. More things in the horizon. I'm constantly working every day. I'm putting myself in overdrive to try and make sure everybody feels like they made the right investment. So don't overextend yourself. Do not go past your risk tolerance because the community's screaming, buy the PEG token. Please do not put yourself into a financial situation. I'll manage everything else on that end and get new investors to the best of my ability. But I don't want to see anyone feel like they've overinvested and have breakdowns or not be able to feed their family. So please keep that in mind. It's very important to me that you're not putting in more than you can afford to lose. This is completely experimental. And I should be saying this on every Ask Me Anything. I can do everything, and everybody can have a ton of trust in me. And there's still ways for the market sentiment to be bad. So please understand that. Please invest responsibly. And I don't want you all to think that I'm some snake oil salesman. I try and explain the risk to you all the best I can. So I hope that makes sense. Looks like maybe one more question. All right. I think.
Do you have any, you got a little teaser at the end? Maybe a little bombshell, a little pre-alpha you want to shell out? Maybe leave them hanging, cliffhanger.
Let's see. Let me see if I'm willing to discuss anything.
Right.
The PEG token is a stable coin, and it's very popular right now.
Ooh, that's spicy. That's a lot.
And I'm really excited for using it in the future. So, yeah, make your guesses. None of the mods should say shit, and I'm not going to say shit because I think that's something I think to be excited in the community is fun. I don't have to tell you everything, even though I try and be as transparent as possible.
The hype's gonna be real.
I hope so. I hope we can get garner a lot. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and end it here, not waste anybody else's time. I hope that everybody enjoyed it. Everybody have a good night. I'll try and make another Ask Me Anything soon after this one. But thank you guys for being invested in me and this project. And let's get to PEG and print for some epochs. All right, guys.